Secretary Granholm, when was the last time you spoke to a representative from the Chinese Communist Party?
I spoke with a member of the Chinese delegation at the APEC conference last summer.
Okay. A report released in August of 2023 mentions that you would consult with your counterpart at the Chinese Communist Party about potential strategic petroleum reserve sales. Is that true?
Oh, yes, I did.
Okay. What was the nature of that conversation?
I tried to, but we couldn't connect. But I was intending to speak with him.
Okay. Have you had conversations outside of the instance I just mentioned?
When we go to an APEC summit, which is the Asian Pacific conference where we talk with countries, and of course China is a member, we often meet with our counterparts. And I think last summer, the APEC conference, I can't remember the exact date, I know that I had a conversation with my counterpart from China on energy.
Was your decision-making process on decisions related to the Strategic Petroleum Reserve influenced by the conversations you had with the Chinese Communist Party?
That's at a different time.
Yeah, I want to get back to 2021.
Okay, so the International Energy Agency had a global stockpile release in response to the war in Ukraine, and we were all encouraging other countries to release from their stockpiles so that we could replace the barrels that were pulled off the market as a result of Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
Well, two things have happened since then. We've not replenished our Strategic Petroleum Reserve, and China has an enormous stockpile now. They have their own Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Do they call you to talk to you about decisions related to their Strategic Petroleum Reserve?
Again, this was just a decision to get a number of countries to release so that it would relieve global pressure.
Why would you be reaching out to a representative from the Chinese Communist Party about our decision to release oil from the strategic?
It was not about our decision. It was asking them to release, as we were asking other countries to release as well.
Okay. It was our decision to release. We still are governed by, we're not governed by a world government yet. Like the Biden administration made that decision. So was your call to inform them of our decision, to persuade them to release their own strategic?
It was not about our decision, it was about their decision, asking them to release along with all of these other countries from their strategic stockpiles. And in fact, a very large release did happen.
And they bought a lot of that oil, didn't they?
I have no idea what they
You don't
did.
know if China bought a lot of our oil from that Strategic Petroleum Reserve release in 2021? You're the energy secretary.
Our release. Obviously, releases happen on a global market.
No, I'm talking about our release. They bought from our release.
It's my understanding that China has purchased a tiny amount, like under 3%, from our Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That was before the ban. They are no longer purchasing.
Okay.
Again, this is all pursuant to what Congress requires us to do as an agency.
Just to do what? There was no directive from Congress for you to release that oil.
No, I'm talking about who we sell to.
Right, but you don't need to talk to a representative from the Chinese Communist Party about our decision to release oil.
Perhaps I'm not making myself clear. I did not talk to a member of the Chinese Communist Party about our decision to release. It was about encouraging them to release along with all of these other countries so that we could make up the Russian barrels that were pulled off the market.
Did they do that?
They said that they did. I don't have evidence that they did.
Yeah, because they have an enormous stockpile now, and ours is at historically low levels. And I want to point out that around 900,000 barrels of oil were sold to Unipec America, a subsidiary of the Chinese government-owned gas company Sinopec, which in turn had received billions of dollars from BHR Partners. Who is BHR Partners? BHR Partners is a private equity firm co-founded by Hunter Biden, who held a 10% stake. Were you aware that Hunter Biden's Hunter Biden benefited from the sale of our strategic petroleum reserve by an affiliated Chinese company?
No.
Okay. You've not replenished the strategic petroleum reserve since, right?
We are in the process of doing that. Part of that is to repurchase barrels. Part of that at taxpayer, at a rate.
It's too expensive
favorable
now,
to
wasn't that your
taxpayer.
statement?
At the moment, it is above what we wanted to. We sold barrels at $95 a barrel. Right now, the price for purchase is around 90, or maybe a little bit less if you look at WTI.
As the Secretary of Energy for the United States of America, do you regret depleting our strategic petroleum reserves to historically low levels, which they currently stand at?
I'd like to just set the stage.
I'd like for you to answer the question because I'm out of time. Do you regret that decision?
I am going to set, no, I don't regret doing what is right to be able to help replenish the global supplies.
What about for the United States of America? I'm talking about for our country.
Senator, you're out of time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.